What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? Let me know if you can hear me. We're getting ready for class this evening. Class will begin at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and right now I'm just doing the demonstration of how we will conduct class tonight. So we're going to do a little bit of a few different things. One is we're going to produce some word art. Then we're also going to, of course, adapt that into our template design. But another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all a free split template that will allow you to print your pillows that you've been doing in the Sew Pro Academy, okay? So that was really the real inspiration for developing this whole design, was to have something that you can turn into a pillow design from the shirt design. So you're going to practice pulling it over into a square that you are going to create tonight, and then when you get it all the size that you want it, I'm going to show you how to bring it into a split template that I'm going to give you all tonight, okay? And then I will also add that split template and a lot of other split template sizes to the 13 by 19 and the 13-inch roll media. I will be adding that into the auto slice tool that some of you have already purchased. So you don't have to purchase it again. I'll just continually add to that. Whenever you all tell me that there's a certain size you want to print, I will add to that library. Awesome, you can see in here. Good deal. What's up, finding her way? Hey, Shika V. Hi, Platinum Ink. What's up, Coach Sharon? Dawn, hello, hello. Trendy Linus Couture, good evening, love. What's up, Erica Kane, admin of the Innate Creatives. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing going. It's actually pretty simple, and I want to start off by changing the image. So I was hoping one of you dropped an image online. Let me go check it out real quick. Nope, no one dropped an image just yet. I was trying to give y'all just a moment to see if you all will upload a photo, then that way I can give away the template to whoever uploads a photo. So check the Innate Creatives Facebook group. And it can be graduation, it could be a sports photo, it can be a birthday party image. I really want to show you how versatile we can do this. And it does not have to be lovey-dovey, Valentine's, wedding inspired, or anything like that. Right, so I don't have an image that I can pull in that anyone has dropped. Wait a minute, somebody may have. All right, Nancy, I got you, love. I'm gonna go ahead and pull your photo in. All right, so let's go ahead and go to remove BG, and we shall upload this image, and I'm just going to drag and drop it straight from my folder onto the screen here. Beautiful. And it looked like it was a little confused down here where the belt was, but I don't think that's going to be any worry because we're going to fade that off anyhow. And you gave me an extra special picture or photo where we're missing the top of the head. So of course you gave me a little challenge, Nancy, but that's no problem. All right, so before we begin, I'm going to go ahead and open up this photo. I'm going to go to image, canvas size. I'm going to pin the canvas down here and increase the height maybe to about 18 inches. So I have some space up here to work with. Because one thing I've noticed, we can fade off the bottom of the photos, but when we fade off the top of the photos, it does something really weird and I don't like it. So what we're going to do is just real quick. I'm not even going to put too much emphasis on it, but we're just going to kind of create a little top of the hair here. So I will create a little hump using my pen tool here. And we're going to turn that into a selection, and let's feather it off about 2 pixels. I'm going to create a new layer and drag it underneath the previous layer. And we're going to fill it with the color, so I'm going to choose the paint bucket. And in order to choose what color, I can hold down Alt and it turns into a color picker. And do you see as I'm moving the mouse around, it's picking up different colors, different browns and blacks there. I'm going to choose that really dark brown there and just fill that in. Of course, it looks a little crazy, but that's okay. So we're going to do deselect, and then I'm going to just pick a section of the hair. I'm going to use, let's use lasso tool here. Just pick a section of the hair there. I'm going to do copy, Control C, and then Control V to paste. And then I'm going to right click and create a clipping mask so that this piece of hair clips inside of that little semicircle I just created. Control T is going to allow me to transform that. And then we are going to take the photo here, create a layer mask, and I'm just going to fade off this hard edge here with a brush. And let's make that brush really small. It's about 60. Let me work it down a little bit further, about 40 pixels. And I'm going to paint with black because black is going to conceal that hard edge there. And I think that does it. It's not perfect. I can see the direction of my hair changing. I could do a little bit more, but I want to get on with the task. So zoom out, and it looks like we have hair there, so I think we're good. We're going to take all those layers and merge them. And we are ready to go with that as our photo. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and fade off the bottom of the photo while we're here. And that's very simple. We're going to add a layer mask, grab that paintbrush, crank up that size to about 500 there. And I'm actually going to give myself a little more canvas size here too. Image, canvas size. Let's keep it in the center here, and let's change the width to 15. Just giving myself some space here to fade that off. Need to make sure that I'm on the layer mask and not the photo, so that when I do my fade off, it is affecting the photo only. Now I'm going to decrease the size of the brush here, because if I take down too much on the side, it'll start to look invisible over there. So just cleaning that up there. And then let's go ahead and let's crop this down. That looks good to me. And now when I close out of this, I can hit yes. It's going to update those changes. So let's go ahead and change out the photo here. Well, before we change out the photo, I'm going to go ahead and save this as is so we can have this version. I'm going to export the entire artboard. So right click, quick export as PNG, and this is going to be, I'm going to call it Art 1 because we're going to have a secondary variation here. So that's going to be 1. This will be the foreground. I'm going to go ahead and quick export as PNG, and I'll call that foreground-1. And let's go ahead and do the same thing to the background. I'm going to close up the background folder so we won't get confused. Right click, quick export as PNG, background-1. Now the reason why I'm showing y'all this process is because I want you to get used to, when you create this artwork, I want you to get used to applying it anywhere that you want to apply it, however you need to apply it. So if you're creating banners, backdrops, pillows, tumblers, t-shirts, you name it, you should be able to take these same design elements that we're using and just resize them according to the substrate that you're going to create. All right, and then one more thing, I'm going to add this layer mask. I have a little heart inspired layer mask here, and then we're going to right click on the art layer, and we are going to wait a minute, I want to make sure that wasn't part of it. So this background is, this color fill is not a part of the background, so that's perfect. So we're going to right click, quick export as PNG, and we're going to call this one Art-1, but we're going to call this the 13 by 19, so 13x19. Now it is not officially a 13 by 19 size, it's just a 13 by 19 orientation. All right, so now if we go to our folder, our 166 folder, we can see that we have the full bleed image here for the t-shirt, more like a wallpaper. We have the background by itself. We have the foreground by itself. And then we have the 13 by 19 art, which is still saving right now. But we have that one as well. So that's going to come in handy later when I show you all how to mock it up. So let's go ahead and get to the flip. I'm going to go ahead and disable that layer mask so we can see everything. Now I like to keep the guides on for the t-shirt because I like to make sure that I stay inside this dotted text and photo safe area no matter what I'm designing, and then I can kind of play with it because as long as it works on a t-shirt, I can pretty much make it work on anything else. Alright, so let's do Control-0 to zoom in. Now let's go ahead and change out our foreground image. If we don't know where it is, we can right click on the image, go to Photo. And for this one, it is not a smart object. I did that on purpose because I just want you to just bring your image on top of this photo. I want you to understand that sometimes it's worth it to use smart objects and sometimes it's not necessary. If it's only going to be one place in the document and if you're not going to be replacing that image over and over again, then we're not going to use a smart object this time. I'm going to locate my photo. And I'm just going to drag and drop it onto the artboard here. Perfect. All right, so we'll go ahead and turn off the previous photo here. And what I'm doing, we are all going to create word art, but what I'm doing for you is including in your downloads, if I can get to it. You're going to have a Word file. So let's go ahead and show you how that's going to work. Here we go. So I believe the Word file that I gave you is a rich text format, so it will open in anything. But if you just do not happen to have anything on your computer that opens up, I think we can just use, I'm going to right click and do this because this will do it for my computer. I can right click on the text and I can go to open with. And let me see if it'll let me. I think everybody has Notepad. Everybody has Notepad. That is on every computer, but this sometimes gets complicated. Let's see, open with. Let's try to open that one with Notepad. Yeah, it's a Google Doc. So let's just go to docs.google.com. And then I'm going to just open up a fresh blank one and show you how that looks, because that's how yours will look. Okay. And then you can go to File, Open, and we can go ahead and file. Let's do Upload. And you're going to drag and drop the file that I gave you. Now this is, the only reason why we're doing this is because I don't want anyone to have an excuse that they don't have a text editing program or they don't have Microsoft Word. You can literally do this on your phone because you can open Google Docs on your phone. Now this is just a list of words. If there's any word here that you don't like or you don't feel is appropriate, so let's say this one is for like a Mr. and Mrs., right? So I'm going to take those words and let's make another list that might be for mom and son, right? So maybe we put mom. And we'll put son. And you can even put the mom with the ampersand sign and son. Then you can put mom separate, son separate, love forever, caring, heart. Might take out that there. And of course, all of these love words won't be relevant, but take out the words that are not. And maybe I'll take out Valentine for this one because maybe you don't want it to be specific for Valentine's. Let's see. So now I have a list . Oh, y'all see, I was working with some lyrics here too, so we might get a chance to play with that. I don't think we're gonna get a chance to do that one. I was doing I Got Nothing But Love For You, Baby, from the 5 Heartbeats. And if you want the text to stay continuous, you just put this little symbol here, which if you hold down Shift and you choose the symbol that's to the left of your number 1 key, then it keeps it all as a single line of text. Okay, so we'll play with that later. So all I want you to do is copy this text here. So we're going to right click. Oh, I lied, because we're on the Google Docs. We're not going to right click. We're just going to do Control C, which is to copy. And then we're going to go into this word cloud. So we're going to do a fresh new word cloud. So let's go ahead and do new word cloud. And of course, it's going to cancel all of my hard work. Well, let's do this. I think I can save this one. Let me just open a new one. Because I want to be able to go back to the text there. Okay, so you see it's going to have this shape here. What we're going to do immediately is we're just going to do a rectangle or a square. And we're going to upload our own shape. And I gave you the shape that we're going to use. It just says 18 by 18 PNG. Now you can get fancy and you can do a silhouette of something, but we're going to keep it simple because we're already doing quite a lot with the design. So we're going to use this 18 by 18, which just happens to be the size of the pillow image that you all are doing. So let's go ahead and hit apply there. All right, so that gives us that 18 by 18, and then there's this layer mask that's on here as well, and that layer mask is just slightly smaller than this 18 by 18, and you'll see that later. Right, now the next thing that we're going to do is go ahead and go to our word list, and we're going to go extract words from text. So remember, we copied the text here. And I can go to edit, copy, or I can do Control C. And then we're going to paste the text here. Now, if you just happen to have words that need to be capitalized in a specific way, then you can toggle off right here where it says ignore word case. I'm going to leave that on, and I'm going to ignore the stop words and hit apply. All right, now this is the list of words here. If I wanted to really fill this out, I'm going to have to choose to repeat the words. And you see, once I choose repeat words, it starts filling it in a lot more. Now next we're going to change the fonts. So I'll go to the fonts. And right now it has 3 fonts selected automatically. Let's say that I want to add another font. I can add a font here. Just give it a moment. It is not responding right now. Let me make sure that it may have something to do with the other one that I have open. So I'm just going to close this out and see if that helps out. And I believe I had it on 7 earlier. Now everything here is pretty much the same size or has the same amount of impact, and we're going to change that in a little bit. Let's see if it'll allow me to add my font now. I don't know if it's doing this because I'm live right now or what. But typically you can add a font, you can edit the fonts, and you can even remove the fonts. So since it's not letting me do that, I don't know if it's because I am doing the live recording right now, but let's go ahead and move on to the next thing, which is we're going to go to the word list and we're going to edit it. And let's say we want the word mom and son to be bigger than everything else. So I'm going to give that a 20. And what happens is the weight of that goes to the top. I hit apply. And the word mom and son is going to be huge. Everything else is given a 1. Mom and son is given a 20. I can also randomize again if I want to kind of regenerate. So that's an option there as well. But I'm going to go back to edit my word list. And I'm going to choose a couple of other really important words. Like I'm going to look for the word love. And I'm going to make sure that maybe love is a 10. And then maybe I'll make my XOXO, hugs and kisses, be an 8. And now we'll start to see some difference in size there. All right, so we're not going to spend too much time playing with this. I just wanted to show you all how you can use free resources like this to add to your design. Okay, so now that we have the different size text here, I'm still a little upset that I can't add my font. I'm just going to leave it alone for right now. And let's go ahead and change the colors. All right, now what we are going to do is we are actually going to choose the colors from a color palette. So if you have a team and that team already has, has its colors, then you'll choose your colors that way. Maybe bring in the school logo. In this case, I'm going to, let's use a color palette that we create from the image. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. And I see some black, some white, some grays, and reds in the buttons there. So I'm going to go ahead and choose where the pink is, I'm going to make that red. Now, just in case we can't pick up that red, then I know I can always make a red. So we're going to go to our color picker tool, also known as the eyedropper. And let me close out of some of these programs here because this internet is lagging. And it's not allowing me to pick my color right now. Let me see if there's anything else I can shut down. And I'm also going to go ahead and save my work. Hey, Coach Q. I saw that you had some people that wanted to know how to print the pillow because it is an 18 by 18 image size. So that was my inspiration for teaching this class today, is to also show them how to split the image so that they can print that 18 by 18 pillow image. And of course, you know, we had to do some extra. All right, so right now I'm attempting to use my color picker, but it is not working out over this photo, which is really odd. I've never seen it not work over something like the photo. But it looks like it's functioning in other places. See how it's working there? Oh, it works over the photo. It was just looking like it was disabled. So I just want to select a red. All right, so we'll select that red. Then I'm going to double click on the foreground swatch, and it's not a clean red to me, so I'm going to clean it up. Now, a true red is going to be all the way at the bottom or all the way at the top. I'm going to go ahead and just push it all the way to the bottom. And I'm going to choose a red that I want, and then I'm going to hit this exclamation point, and then it's going to choose a safer red. A lot of times we pick colors that are not print safe, and then we wonder why things don't look like they look on the screen, and it's just because it's going to be almost impossible to achieve that with the limited color gamut that your printers have limitations on color gamut, screens have limitations, and of course ink does too. So that combination of things can get you in some trouble when you're representing colors that you're not really able to print. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add this to my swatches, and I'm going to call that swatch 1. Okay, and then I can go ahead and pick my next color. Next, and I should I'm picking the gray here from the hat. There we go. We'll go with that gray, and then we will add it to swatches, and I'm just going to call that 2. And then next I'm just going to do black and white, so I'm going to pull the black all the way down here to where it's all 6 zeros. And then for white, I know white is all 6 Fs. Okay, so I know my hex codes there. So let's go ahead and switch these colors out. So Smart Color 1, I'm going to double click. Well, I think I'm going to change the Smart Color 1 to the red. And because I already have my swatches here, I can scroll down, and you see that the swatches that I created should be here. Oops, I must have had something open where they saved. They're up here at the top. Okay, so let's go ahead and choose the red for Smart Color 1. And then for Smart Color 2, oh, you know what? I didn't make them smart colors yet. Let me show you how to make them smart. I think I did that on purpose so I can show y'all how to make them into smart colors, because y'all always ask me how to make them. So real quick, I'm going to duplicate these, and I'm going to delete the layer mask so I can show you what a smart color is. It's something I made up, but it does wonders for the templates. All right, so we'll right click, and I'm going to convert it to a smart object. And just because all I did was just create a color layer and then just rename it smart color. And once I convert it to a smart color, it actually becomes a smart object, or it becomes a smart color when I convert it to a smart object. So that's all it is. It's a smart object that is holding a color right now. All right, and then I'm going to take these smart colors that I just created, and I'm going to make sure that we're using them in our background here. So I'm going to alt click and drag them here. Place them over our background, and then we're going to replace these images. So wherever the red was goes there. Nope. Yeah, I said red would be 1. That'd be Smart Color 2 and 3. And then I need to find the blend mode. So the blend mode is color for these. So I'm going to take the blend mode here and make it color, just all the way at the bottom. And then I can get rid of these colors here because they are not smart colors. And then I'm going to go ahead and relink all these layers because I want them to stay together. So let's go back to the top, I am just cleaning this up for you all, but you get to see how I create the smart colors. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we can go ahead and change the pink to the gray. So when I'm on the pink layer, it says color here, but I can just select a swatch and it will immediately change that out. When I close out, I'm going to say yes to update.
How you doing,
How you
Shannon?
doing? Yep, right there from. Thank you, love.
Yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
it.
Have a great night.
You too.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Third color. Same thing here. We said we're just going to use black and white. So I can choose my black here. And you really don't see where the blue is applying so much. So let's go ahead and change that out to white. And of course I have gold on here, but I can change this glitter color. Instead of gold, let's just duplicate that layer, and I'm going to make a silver version, but just choosing a gray there. But in this particular case, I think I do like the gold, even though we have the silver tone going on here. Now what we have to do is pick another blend mode here, or we have to change how the red is interacting with this particular background. One thing that we can do is we can play with the levels, the hue and saturation, which right here I've already included a hue saturation layer. Saturation is already brought all the way down, but you can play with the lightness to achieve different results. So see, I can go a little bit darker and get a deeper red there. So I'm going to leave that there, and then I'm going to play with the lightness by using the levels here. And I'm going to right click and create a clipping mask. So these levels will only affect the red layer. And I'm kind of boosting this red a little bit here. And let's also, I'm going to change the blend mode from color to, I think I like darken more for this one. I could also try overlay. I say you're really gonna have fun when you stop being afraid of the blend modes and really just play with them. They really do help out. So when I change the levels, I'm able to get more intense color in this area. You see, if I turn the levels off, that intensity goes away. And then by me changing the blend mode to darken, that's giving me more of that strength of that color. And then I'm also going to go ahead and change out these smart colors here so that they will be smart colors for you. I'll then click and drag those down. All right, and you'll see you'll get to choose whichever smart color there. And I think I do have to leave these in here until I go back and change the original file because I didn't save those colors. So I'm just going to save them at the bottom so I remember to go back to those colors. All right. and then I can go ahead and get rid of those colors there. Now the whole point of us picking these smart colors is that I wanted to make sure that we could replicate these colors in our artwork. So for right now, I'm going to double click on the red, and I'm going to grab the hex code here. I can literally just double click on it, then right click on it, go to copy, and it's going to copy that, or you can just select it with your mouse, do Control C to copy. And then we're going to change that as our first color here. So we're going to make sure that we choose hex, then we're going to paste that color code. We say OK, and see how I made it that darker red? It hasn't applied it yet, but it has changed it in our palette here. So our second color was the gray color. So I'm just going to, I didn't change anything there. I'm just going to go grab the color code. Just copy it. And I really should have copied it as I was picking it, but I wasn't sure if that was going to remain my color choice. So I didn't want to just be copying the hex codes. Alright, so now that becomes that gray from the hat. And then we're going to do white as our third color. And we know what the hex code is for white. It's just 6 Fs. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I forgot to put the hashtag in front of it, or the pound sign. And then for white, it's going to be all zeros. I mean, for black, it's going to be all zeros. There we go. And then I'm going to let my layer mask be completely transparent. So you see how it had like this mask around it? I want it to be transparent completely. So you have to bring it all the way over and hit OK. And for the background, I want it to completely be invisible as well, so transparent. But for right now, I'm going to hit white. And the only reason why I'm choosing white is because I want to see what's going on, and then I'll remove the background later. And because I have white here, oh, and we won't want to use white. As a matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and clear that one, because I don't want it to put white text there, because if we're sublimating, you will not see that. All right, so let's hit apply now. And technically we have 3 colors in a white background. You can close that out. And we have a little bit of word art going on here. I really want to change this font, and I'm not understanding why it won't let me do it. That's the only thing that I really would even change right now, because I don't like this font. You can also randomize it a little bit more. If you don't like how straight it looks, you can go to the direction and you can choose randomest. Usually it defaults to random, and you can do randomer or randomest. There are some other ones as well, but we're going to stick within this realm here. And randomest kind of allows things to flip upside down more, so it may end up being a little less legible. All right, so you see we have our color scheme going on here. Since I cannot change the fonts, you should be able to change the fonts. Let me just hit apply and see if after I hit apply, will it let me change the fonts. I promise y'all I've changed these fonts because I like the handwritten fonts. But let's just go ahead and do what we have to do with this one because I want to get on with the tutorial. We're going to go ahead and remove the color from the background. So we're going to go up to colors, and then we're going to choose, for the background, we're going to choose this checkerboard, and we're going to make sure that it's all the way pushed to the left. If it is not all the way pushed to the left, it will have some color in the background. It'll be a little transparent, but it will be something in the background there. So we're going to pull it all the way to the left, hit OK. And then we have to hit apply, and now we should see this checkerboard behind everything. Let's close, and we're going to go ahead and download this file now. So we're going to go to File, Save as Image, and I hit the HD, and I'm going to call this Mom and Son. I'm going to click on the PNG. You also, if you wanted to download it as an SVG, let's say for instance this is something that you might want to cut. Of course you wouldn't cut with these little small text here, but you absolutely could save it. We're just going to do PNG for the sake of keeping it simple. Once it's all the way loaded here, you'll be able to hit the download button. Now we can hit download, and we will place it in our 166 folder. All right, good stuff. Let's close out of everything here, and now we're going to change. I'm going to close up the text real quick so we can just focus on the background right now. We're going to change out the word art. Now, if you notice, I actually have this word art on here several times. And one thing that I'm going to do is, before I change out the word art, I wanted to fade this off so that it's not everywhere, but all you have to do is turn off the layer mask if you want it everywhere. I'm going to go to my gradient tool, and I'm just going to let the words only be up at the top here so I can get this good detail down here at the bottom. Here we go. And then of course if you want the words everywhere, just right click and disable the layer mask, and the words are still there. I'm going to go ahead and save this variation because I have to go back and place these images in here. Now, of course, we have to change the word cloud art here. So we're just going to double click where it says the love word cloud, and I'm going to drag and drop our new word cloud on here. Or you can do File, Place Embedded. Boom, it should be the exact same size because we told it that we wanted it to be that 18 by 18 size. Now, because this is a PNG smart object, I do have to delete the image from before. We'll hit yes to update that. And boom, now we have the mom and son version. Now you can play with the blend mode of this too, and because it's a smart object, I just repeated it 4 times on here so then we got more of it. But of course you can make it as large as you want to make it. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the fade off here so we can see that difference. And the blend mode on this is on luminosity. I very rarely use luminosity, but today when I used it, I liked how it took the colors and made it monochromatic, but some of the words popped out more than the others. So I really like that. You might find another blend mode that you like, so you can play with that. And just, you know, find the one that floats your boat or finds your lost remote. So I'm going to leave it on luminosity. I kind of like vivid light too, makes it look really intense. But sometimes you don't want it to be intense. Maybe you want to use soft light. All right, so luminosity it is for right now. And of course you'll have a chance to play with that. I'm going to close this up now. And you'll be able to change out the text. That's the next step. So we'll right click and the text says always and forever. So you can of course change this to absolutely anything. I think I'm going to change this to a mother's love. So part 1 would be a mother's, and then the forever. If I can't find it, I can always right click on it and find the word forever. Double click on the T. And let's say I wanted the word love to be bigger, then I have the option to change that up. And then of course you can change the smart color to color the top text different from the bottom text. If you want to do that, you can just turn on the eyeball for the corresponding color and see which one you like best. All right, and that is it for the design part. I wanted to show y'all how simple this was going to be, but I also want to go ahead and close up these folders, and we're going to do our saving. So we're going to save the art now. Right click, quick export as PNG. So now I'm going to call this art-2. Then I'm going to do the foreground, right click, quick export as PNG. That's going to be foreground-2. And then the background is going to save separately. Quick export as PNG. That one's going to be background-2. And then if I want to activate the layer mask here, I'm still going to right click, quick export as PNG for the art. But this time it's still going to say -2. I'm going to put the -13x19. So I will know that that's my 13 by 19 design. All right. So you have done all of your artwork. You're ready to put this on something other than a t-shirt, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to make a fresh file that's going to be just for the pillow. So we're going to go File, New, and we're just going to create an 18 by 18 artboard. Let's say you had something crazy here. Let's say a lot of times y'all don't even see inches there. You'll end up seeing points there, right? Or pixels. Usually I think y'all see pixels there a lot. So what we can do is click where it says pixels, put inches instead, and we're going to put the width as 18 and the height as 18. Because we don't have a template for the pillow just yet. We just know that we measured the pillow and it's 18 inches. And of course it's going to have some seam allowance there, but we just know we're going to make an 18 by 18 artboard, okay? The resolution, I keep it at 150 because a lot of times these sublimation files can get really huge with all of the bitmap images. So I just keep it at 150, and I have not ever had a problem sublimating at 150 pixels per inch. All right, and here you can choose a color mode. It's not necessary, but I do make sure that I have either Adobe RGB or the working RGB selected there. Let's create it. Okay, so we have an 18 by 18 artboard, and we did all of that by ourselves. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to go ahead and literally design the pillow image. We have our background, our foreground, and of course we have the art merged together. I just like to specifically work with the background and the foreground, and I'm going to tell you why. So let's go ahead and drop in our background here. I'm going to stretch it out until it takes up the entire space here. Hit enter to lock in the transformation. And then I'm going to go ahead and center it by moving. I think I'm going to move the image. I'm going to move the image. And typically, if you do Control T, you'll get to see when it's lined up in the center. And it's just not doing it for me right now. I think the streaming is really affecting my Photoshop right now. So I apologize, y'all, because normally you'll see that happening. I can kind of feel it snapping, but it's not showing you the snaps. So I'm assuming that's pretty much centered there. And then let's go ahead and drag our foreground image. Just drag and drop. And you see how with this being a square image, my 13 by 19-ish kind of design, and it dropped behind the background, so I'm going to bring it up in front of the background. Now, if I'm making a pillow, I want to make sure, or anything, I want to make sure I always have bleed room. You never want to design to the very, very extent of something just because, you know, it looks good big, but if you cut something important off, you're going to look silly because you're going to have to remake it. So just kind of design a little bit less than what you would typically expect. Oh, there it goes. Now I can stamp it to the center. I'm going to hit enter to lock in that transformation. And now I don't have to worry about, if I were to sew this pillow, I'm not cutting off the top of anybody's head. I'm not cutting off any important words. I gave myself plenty of space here. And just like that, that's your pillow design. Okay. But we could have just as easily, I think you all wanted to do some boxers, right? So I will demonstrate that tomorrow. I'll do a pair of boxers. It may or may not be this template, but I'm just going to measure the boxers. And I measured the long length boxers that I have from Silky Socks, and I believe it's like 19 inches tall by 26 inches wide for the particular size that I'm using. And I'm not going to sit there and try to make the cutouts for the legs. I'm going to literally make a rectangle that's 19 inches tall and 26 inches wide, and I'm going to drag and drop my images on here just like this, and print it. There are certain times when it is very important to have a template, an actual contoured template of whatever it is that you're making it. Most times that's not necessary. A rectangle will do. Okay, so the problem now is that this is 18 inches by 18 inches, and I only have a 13-inch printer, right? So let's go ahead and let's save this image right now. And although this is going to be a Photoshop when I save it, Photoshop file, I'll save this as 166 18 by 18, and this will be my art. All right, and then I can also go ahead and save a copy of it as just a PNG. I do not need the layers. I have my PNG. There we go. And this was really, really quick. So this is a 5-minute template, y'all. This right here is a 5-minute template. Spent more time pulling together the smart colors that I didn't have done beforehand. Let me disable that layer mask. Right, and again, I'm going to show you real quick. I'll delete these pieces, and I'm going to show you real quick. We could take the other background that we already did for the alternate design, and I'm going to show you just how quick you can design something other than a t-shirt with your t-shirt design. Boom, that's it. That's the background. Then let's go ahead and bring in our foreground. Make that a little bit bigger there. Move it down just a little bit. And that's my new design. So I can go File, Save a Copy. Let's save it as a PNG. And now I have an alternate pillow design. Just that simple. All right, so this is what you all wanted to probably really see. We'll save that. I did develop some additional split templates, and I will be updating and actually recreating these split templates for the 13 by 19 and the 13-inch roll media, because I have a way that I figured out that makes it a lot simpler. So I will pass that on to you all. Of course I will. All right, so this is what I'm going to be giving to you all today. All right, this is a 13 by 19 that is tiled and is split. Well, it's 2 tiles, but the full size is a 19 by 25. So basically, as long as whatever you're printing, if you're doing a jumbo print and you were doing a 19 by 25 jumbo print, this will work for you. I also have another one that I'm going to do for you all. We'll work on this one where if you're going to do your stoles, it splits it top and bottom. So if you're using 13 by 19 sheets and you want to do a full bleed stole, this one will work for you. Okay, so I am doing different size split templates for you all just to make it a lot simpler. And then I have a mega one that can do up to like blanket sizes. So it's 15 tiles, so it's 3 rows of 5. But if that's what you want to do with your life and you want to do those blankets, you're going to be able to do it. I'm highly going to recommend roll media rather than 13 by 19 sheets, but we'll talk about that later. Right now we want to get into this pillow. Okay, so of course you can change the image here, but all I want you to do is just turn that off, and I want you to place your embedded art the exact size that it is. So let's go File, and then let's do Place Embedded, and we're going to look for that pillow design that we just did, the 18 by 18 art here. Let's place it. Okay, now what I want you to do is check over here on the properties panel and make sure that it came in the appropriate size, 18 by 18. So whenever you design in the template that Coach Q gave you, it will be whatever size, whether it's 17 by 17, 18 by 18, I'm not sure, whatever size it is, you will place it just like she told you to place it in her video. The only difference is when it's time to print it, of course, you're just going to do that File. You're going to save a copy, and you're literally going to save that artboard. That you'll have a front pillow and a back pillow, and all you do is drag and drop it on here. Now, if you want to save some paper, then we'll go ahead and do that. And I am actually, let me make this one, I'm going to make this one 3 tiles, so you can print your front and your back, and this is going to be so much better for you all. All right, so let me go to the artboard here. I'm going to create an extra one. I'm going to call this one 3. And let's move this over. To 25 inches here. All right, so that's a 3rd tile there. So now I need to actually rename this. I'm going to do File, Save As. So now this makes this entire thing, hold on, let me see what size it is. 38 inches. So it's 13 by 38. So y'all are going to love this. It's pretty much going to do what you needed to do for that pillow project. So I'm going to rename this 19 by 38. So you'll have that version. This is going to be so simple. All right, so now we can also, let's say you were doing a different image for your back. Let's do File. Let's do Place Embedded. And let's go ahead and bring in the other image, and let's call the other image our back. So there's the back. I'm just gonna make this bigger for you. There we go. All right, so now what's gonna happen is your front and your back is, and it's only gonna use 3 sheets, so you don't even have to worry about, because before you would have to put it in the center, or you're just gonna end up with white space on the side over here. So we have 3 towels, and you're gonna get your front and your back of your pillow, okay? And of course, when they print out, you will trim, and you'll make sure that you trim off the white there, tape it together, and I have plenty of videos on how to tile and tape things together. But let's go ahead and show you the exact steps, and I'm going to go ahead and lock this for you so it won't move around on you. And let's save it. And as a matter of fact, I think I do have the pillow template. I'm gonna see exactly. Yep, so I see here, if you save the front and the back here, the size is 18 by 18. So that's gonna work out perfect. So really all you have to do is double click on this and put your artwork in there from the pillow class, and it will be ready to print. All right, so let's show you how you would export this to print. I like to export everything just because I don't like printing from Photoshop files. I like to print from PNGs or JPEGs. So I'm going to go to Export, and I'm going to go Artboard to Files, and pay very close attention to what we're doing here. We're going to browse and put it in our folder. So I'm going to put it in the 166 folder. You're going to right click, create a new folder in your 166 folder, and you're going to call that Print. That's your print folder. So you're only going to print from your print folder. Then you're going to hit enter to make sure you open up the print folder, hit OK. And then all I'm going to do for the prefix, I'll leave the prefix there. I'm going to put a dash, okay, because it's going to tell me tile 1, 2, or 3 after that dash. Now we are going to include the overlapping areas, and make sure that you have export selected artboards turned off. And I'm running into a little stall right now, so I'm going to let Photoshop do what it needs to do, because it's acting real funky while I've been on this live stream. Yeah, it's acting a little funky right now. I'm sorry, y'all. It's been playing with me today. It's been playing with my emotions, showing out in front of company. You know how Photoshop likes to do. And then you do not have to include the background. Let me hit cancel here. And I'm going to just deselect. I don't even want to have anything selected, because if you don't have anything selected, it won't even give you that option. So I'm not certain why it's showing out right now. So we'll go export, and let me go ahead and close down these extra files. So yes, I'm going to save that. I think I'm using up a lot of resources on the computer right now, so I want to make sure that I only have open what I need to have open at this point. All right, so let's do File, Export, Artboard to Files. I'm going to make sure that we're on JPEG here too, but let's go choose our folder again. This is going to be in our 166 print folder. And I was double clicking too fast, so it's probably automatically selecting something right now. You see how I'm clicking and it's already thinking? Just select the folder, sir. and it did not select the appropriate folder. There we go. Prefix, I'm going to leave the prefix there and just put a dash at the end. And see how now it doesn't even give me the option to export selected artboards, because I made sure I didn't have anything selected. And you do not need to include the background in the export, so don't worry about that. For the file type, make sure you choose JPEG, and you don't even have to check off this export options here. But if you do have it checked off, you can leave the quality at 8, and then I want you to hit run. And then just let Photoshop do its thing. Don't try to touch anything. It looks like Artboard to files was successful, so we can hit OK. Now I'm going to show you the 166 folder where we told it to save our prints. We'll open that print folder. And this is the entire thing. Let's say if I was just straight up getting ready to print this on my large format printer, because it's 38 inches, so if I was printing this on my 36-inch printer, I probably would place my images a little closer and just deal with that little sliver that's going to be missing, because I would not want to waste more paper turning it the other way. But if for your 13 by 19 users, you have 3 tiles here. Okay, now this is what I would open and print in Photoshop. And if your files don't open in Photoshop, then you can go ahead and select them. Again, computer's acting janky. Let's right click, and you should be able to go to open with, or you can drag them right there into the tab part of Photoshop. And there you have it, 1, 2, and 3. Now you go File, Print, choose your 13 by 19 printer. Hopefully you're using True Colors ink. And this is a new computer, so I don't have the 13 by 19 printer set up on this one. But I have a whole video on showing you how to set up your default settings for your printer for the True Colors ink, and what you choose for color handling, printer profile, of course, and what your print settings will be by default, so that it always prints mirror imaged, it always prints 13 by 19 sheets, and you don't have to check that every time. So I will be including this file for you all tonight, and I will also update the 13-inch split template. So for those of you familiar, or maybe even not familiar with the Academy, there is a split template in the Academy. I think all I have to do is just show y'all on here. So this is the 13 by 19 split template. It is going to magically do just like what happened today. You'll take the file for whatever size shirt you want to print, whether it's a large, a kid size, a toddler, infant, all of the sizes are already in there. And then what you do is you replace your artwork that you want for the shirt, and it will automatically split up your print into the appropriate number of 13 by 19 sheets. I also have one of these for 8.5-inch printers and for 24-inch printers. So if you look for your specific one, you'll be able to find it on the Academy. It also comes with step-by-step directions for how you will print, how you tile, how you do all over shirts in general. So this, if you remember, please don't pay $100 for this template set. It's actually a set of templates. Please don't pay $100 for this. Use your coupon code so that you can get 67% off or 75% off. And what I will do is I will update this, and not only will it have the t-shirt templates now, it will also include these common size split templates as well. So that pretty much you just come straight into it, pop in your artwork, and if it only requires 2 2 sheets, then guess what? You just turn off that 3rd sheet. And you'll see that it's only going to print 1 and 2 when you're exporting. Just turn off the 3rd sheet. If you only needed it to be these 2 here, then that's all you need. Maybe the back is going to be a solid color and you're not even going to sublimate the back of the pillow. That actually makes a lot of sense. Save your sublimation ink, save your paper, and do a solid color on the back, because most times people aren't going to flip the pillow. Unless, of course, you're doing like a decorative design and you just want it to match on the back. Okay, so even though I have a 3rd page here, when I go to export, it's only going to export what has an eyeball on. So I have a mega version of this, which I will show you all. Where is it? Is that it? So I have a mega version of this thing, and this is basically for those of you who might be printing blankets, or maybe you're printing something, just whatever it is. I'm not going to question what it is that you're printing. What you're going to do is pull your artwork in, whatever size it's supposed to be. And let's just say, for instance, we're doing a blanket, right? And let's say I'm doing a blanket and the size is 30 by 40. Okay. So I can do the same thing. I'm using the same artwork from 166. I'll bring in my background and my foreground, and guess what? I can even bring them in at the same time. Drag and drop. That's my background. That's my foreground. I'm doing a blanket. I'm doing a 30 by 40. So what am I going to do for my background here? I'm going to check my properties. It's in pixels. I want it to be in inches. So I'm going to choose inches here. And I'm also going to choose inches here on my ruler. Then all of a sudden it gives me inches. So if my blanket is 36 by 44, this is going to give me plenty of bleed space, but let's say I need to make it a little bit smaller. I can do Control T. To transform, and if I right click here, I can turn these into inches instead of percentage points, and let's say 41 inches is really all I need, which I would at least do 42. I'm going to keep it real with you. When you're doing big stuff, go ahead and give yourself more bleed room, because that stuff moves and shifts and you don't want to set yourself up. So I might even leave 44 and give it 2 inches all the way around. But I put 42 because that gives me a 1 inch bleed area all the way around. And the height is 34. So that's going to give me plenty of space there too. And if I don't even need the 34, then of course I said what 32 is all I really needed, but we're going to leave it alone so we can just focus on this right now. I'm going to pick up and move this. Photoshop is really showing out right now, y'all. And I'm going to keep these together because I want to make sure that my image is centered here. And Photoshop is really not letting me. Oh, okay, I was about to go off on Photoshop. So I'm moving this image around so that I can use up the least amount of sheets possible. And because I have plenty of bleed room, I'm gonna get right up to these margins here. Maybe come down just a little bit. If you can ever avoid stressing your printer out and printing at that very, very top, you will save yourself some marked up papers later down the line when you're doing a lot of printing. Okay, so now I see that each of these are numbered, and I can just turn off the numbers of the one that I don't need. I can turn off 5. I can turn off 5. I can turn off 10. can turn off 15 over here. I can turn off 14, 13, 12, and 11. And look at that. So I told y'all I meet y'all where you're at. I don't care if you have a large format printer yet and you want to get into large format prints. That's the whole reason why I came up with the idea for the split templates in the first place. Originated in a dream that I literally brought to life for you all. Because I know, although I have a large format printer, I remember what it was like tiling. I remember what it was like when y'all asked me to make a video showing y'all how to tile. And it's not easy when you have to do the manual measurements. So that's the reason why I came up with the split template for you all. Okay, so now that the eyeballs only show the tiles that we're going to print, even though they're all still here, watch this. Let's go to File, Export, and we're going to do Artboard to Files. Same process here. Now I'm going to put it in my print folder, but this time I'm going to call this one, or I'll still put it in the print folder if the program will let me select print. Oh my goodness. This Photoshop is really tripping right now. It's just doing something funky on my computer. So I'm going to call this print blanket. And maybe I should actually put the size of the blanket. I said it was 30 by 40. So then that way, if I ever go back, I know exactly what I'm dealing with. And then I'm still going to keep the file name the same because this is going to help me figure out which file I use to create this. And I am going to include the overlapping areas. Now I did have an artboard selected, so I have to deselect this. And it's running me crazy. So let me make sure I don't have anything selected. So just select in this blank area here and you won't have this problem. I don't know what's going on with Photoshop right now. Artboard to Files. Let's make sure that we choose the appropriate folder. Prefix, all I'm going to do is just put a dash at the end. And if I wanted to call this the size that it is now, I could. This is technically, no, I'm not going to change it because like I said, how it names it is how you're going to remember how you did this. So let's go ahead and we made sure export selected artboards is off. Let's run it. I'm talking more than I'm working. Let's let it do its thing. I'll take a little sip of my water. And then I'll get this class uploaded for you all. So in tonight's class, I'm going to give you the, we are going to like literally set this up for the pillow. So we're going to go through all these steps because I know y'all get confused when you see something as a t-shirt and you want to see it as something else. I just don't want this to be confusing. I want us to have projects where you are converting the images to whatever substrate you need to print on, even if it's just straight pigment printing, or maybe you're making labels. You should be able to use these templates for whatever your heart desires, whatever your mind can imagine. That's the whole point of these templates. Alright, so it says Artboard of Files was successful. I'm going to head on over to my print blanket folder, and there are all my tiles. Even the ones that were right there at the edge that had that little extra bit there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tiles. If you wanted to print your blanket, and it automatically split it up for you. And of course, I'll do another tutorial video on how this is going to work because I need to update all of this for you all. So I will do an updated version on how the split template works with the t-shirts too, because I'm going to simplify all of that for y'all. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and delete these images that we don't need out of here. And we are good to go. And I'll even leave this on here so that if you all want to just change out that 18 by 18 art, you just double click. Let me change the name of this. I'll just change to 18 by 18. I'll call this the front, and I'll call this one the back. There you go. So we're making sure we handle all of your split template needs. And then of course this image is the 36 by 44 image that we do for all over. So it's just going to be on all of the templates regardless. And let me turn on the third one here, so we make sure that it's going to activate and print, and we are good to go. All right, love, so I'll go ahead and upload this class and these files, and we will work together through this to make sure that you can print your pillows, okay? And if you have a different pillow that you want to print, because Coach Q done already threatened y'all that if y'all don't do the pillows, she's gonna stop doing free classes. So I know that you all love her instruction and the time and energy that she puts into the Sew Pro Academy. So we're going to be doing a lot more cut and sew projects. So I want you all to stay on top of some of these smaller projects because they will get you acclimated with sewing and Photoshop. So it's not just the sewing side, it's also getting you acclimated to Photoshop and how you're going to do your cut and sew projects. Good deal, Coach Sharon. Coach Sharon says, this will help me so much until I can buy a large format printer. Absolutely, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. All right, my love, so let me get this uploaded. If you are a VIP member, please make sure that you look for your coupon code so you do not pay for class tonight. If you are wanting to attend class tonight and you're a standard member, then make sure that you use your 67% off coupon code so tonight's live class will be less than $20. And for anyone else, you will be unlocking these courses eventually depending on when you join the academy. So you will unlock courses for free. And as a matter of fact, this one will probably unlock for free for you in 7 days, okay? Depending on when you join. If you join later than that, then it won't unlock for you until what, about 67 weeks, because this is class number 166. So it unlocks every 7 days. So if you miss one or you join the academy after it's already been released, then it unlocks in the vault later on. So it just depends on when you join. The sooner you join, the more classes you unlock, the quicker you unlock them. And of course, if you're a member, you can always unlock a class early if you want to. If you're a VIP member, you unlock classes for $7.50. And then if you are a standard member, you're unlocking courses for under $10 per course. So it includes the template and the class instruction, so you get to see your classmates going through the process. It's not me doing it super fast on YouTube. It's literally your classmates are going through the steps and I'm helping them. I don't even turn on my Photoshop when I do classes for you all, okay? I'm strictly looking at your screen and making sure that I'm there for you, and I'm pulling you out the mud if you get stuck and then helping you show off. All right, my love, so I will check you all in class this evening if y'all have any questions. I was trying to stick around to see if we had any new questions pop up, but I don't see. I'll go ahead and get this uploaded, and we will have class tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, I appreciate you all. I love you dearly, and until next time, bye.